see my screen and able to hear me as well?
Hi Vishal, good morning. Yeah, you can see it.
Hi Vishal, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Well, and anyone of you, any doubt, you guys can ask me, or else we'll start off with. Without? Okay, perfect. Okay, so in the last class, we have learned what is static and non-static. Okay, so static is something, for example, say MS Paint you have, and just a minute. Okay, these are the two objects. Okay, and say this is a P1 object, and say this is P2 object. And every object has three properties. Okay, so for P1 object, say you have J here and UID is 700, like this. Okay. Similarly for P2 object, you will have, let's consider name equals to Priyank. Okay, name equals to Priyank, and UID is 0. It will be, because by default the global variable will be 0, correct? Because if I don't say P2.UID equals to 900, then it will be, if I have commented this line, so by default the values of the global variable will be 0. That's what we have seen. And this country, whatever we have seen, okay, the country property, it will be a shared property, and each of your objects will refer there. Okay, each of your objects will refer there. Say it is at some memory location 2000, so 2000 will be there, guys. Okay, 2000 will be there. That's it. Okay, and that's the reason if someone changes here, say initially it was India. Okay, someone changes from India, initially it was India, someone changes to USA, it will be reflected in every object. Okay, this is the main difference between static and non-static, guys. Okay, the static property, that's the reason they say that static doesn't belong to an object, instead it belongs to a class, they say. Okay, it belongs to a class, it doesn't belong to an object. Okay, because it is shared, guys. Okay, that's the only reason. And the other thing is, say apart from this, whatever we have learned, apart from this, the other thing is, say you have a class A, like something like this, and you have, say, string name, string roll number. Okay, you have something like this. Then say public static void, say print. This is, say, one method. Okay, print is a method, and one more method is similar thing. Okay, public static print, print static, I'll give name as print static, and this is non-static. Okay, the first method is non-static, second method is static. Okay, and I'll say roll number also. So say static string roll number. Okay, so what we have seen, guys, okay, if at all we have something like this, okay, this kind of arrangement, and now I want to create the object of this class. Okay, say class create object, and say this is my create object class. If I want to call this print static method, all I need to do is in this class, if I want to call print static method, all I want to do is a dot print static. That's it. You need not create the object. Similarly, if you want to call the roll number, which is static, you can say a dot roll number. You can assign some value to it, or you can print this roll number and assign to something like int roll is equal to something you can do. Okay, but idea is how do you access it? Okay, and these two static property can also be accessed by creating the object of a class. A1 is equal to new of a. This is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Now similarly you can do something like this. A1 dot print static, and here A1 dot roll number. You can do it. Okay, so static property can be accessed using the class dot else object reference. A1 is an object reference, they say, but non-static property can be accessed only by object reference, guys. A1 dot print you can do, it's perfectly fine, or else A1 dot name. But for non-static property you cannot do something like this, that is a dot name will gonna give you the error, guys. A dot name will gonna give you error because it's a non-static property. Similarly, a dot print also will give you error because it's a non-static property, guys. Okay, that is it you need to know about static and non-static. Okay, now once you have static and non-static, say I'm creating one more package called as getters setters. Okay, getters setters. Okay, yeah, the other day Priyank had asked what is this when he want to create any package, what is this create package info.java. Okay, this again I googled it, guys. Okay, when I say it told me that it has something to do with the, if you want to create, I discussed right other day, I had told you that it might be something to do with the what do you call that, documentation. And yes, it is something to do with the documentation itself. Okay, what I did was create package info.java, create package info.java file. Okay, now if you go to Eclipse, okay, it is telling you that it is something to do with wizard to create a folder corresponding to a new Java package optional package level documentation. Okay, and you guys know what is documentation. Documentation is something, wherein if you take the mouse pointer, it will give you what that particular thing does. Okay, so Actually it's not of any significance here. Okay, so I'll just delete it. But whenever I say here also, I'll just delete it. The package, so documentation will give you all these things, guys. Okay, like what kind of method it is, where it is, what is the return type of this method. Return type is void here, saying string. It takes string as an argument and all these things. Okay, fine, guys. Now just a minute. Okay, now we will be discussing something about getters and setters. Okay, now for that I will say a class called bank account. Okay, class called bank account. Okay, and say bank account class might have some property, say int or say long balance. Okay, what is this long? Long can store a bigger value than int. Okay, so I don't know how big it can store, but yeah, that is the thing, guys. Long balance.
Vishal, I have a doubt.
Yeah,
As you said, if you declare any variable as a static, that will create a separate object memory every time.
not object as such, but it will not create object as such, but yeah, it will not be part of the your objects. It will be at a separate place. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this happens with static, but in case of a normal variable, if
Non-static,
you declare any
normal in the
normal,
sense.
non-static.
Mhm.
So in that case, if you declare that variable, that will also have some memory space. But
Yes,
every time if you assign some value, that will take some new memory location every time.
yes, you can say that. Yeah, that is correct. So every time you create an object, it will be created in the new memory location. Okay, and you changing this one will not affect this one. Okay, so there are two objects, say object s1 and s2. Okay, and name is the property. Okay, say s1, or else let me do like this. First you said, you know, s student s equals to new of student. Okay, say it is at the memory location 2000. Okay, so name will be written here, and say roll number will be written here. Okay, again you say student s1 equals to, so s2 equals to new of student. It will create a new object somewhere at some other location. Say this is 8000 memory location. Your name property will be here, name, and roll number property will be here. So is this make sense, or what is the doubt exactly?
No, I was actually confused between these two. I mean, apart from the just property, like which you can access just without declaring a object, directly through class name you can access the method and the variable. But in case, I mean, what is happening behind the scene is just related to memory allocations, or
Yeah, it is just
um
related to memory allocation.
okay, because if someone asks what's the difference, so what should we suggest they should say about this memory allocation thing, or any other thing we can
uh,
add?
we can only say about the memory location. Okay, but I'll tell you, if you better you don't say with the memory location, because I'll tell you, this is the fact, guys. Okay, if you go for any Selenium interview, there are 99% of the chance your not 99% or 90% of the chance, your interviewer himself will not know about these things. This is the fact, guys. Okay, but
Mhm.
if at all, so it's always better to tell you, for you guys, first tell about how can you access a static variable, how can you access a non-static variable. Say about that first, then you can add and tell this. What is this? Memory location. Okay, whatever we discussed in day before yesterday's class. Okay, it was only thing what we discussed in day before yesterday's classes about how the memory location things happens in. Okay, that is the only thing what we discussed, and only in last 5 minutes we have discussed how can we access. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, first tell about how you will access a static, how will you access a non-static, because the reason I'm telling you this is, there are 90% of the chances your interviewer might not know this at all. And if you tell, there are all means, by all means he might say you are trying to say something which is, which doesn't exist. Okay, so that's the reason, first tell this and then tell the other thing. Okay, so these are the things, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now coming back to this, if there is any other doubt, ask me, guys. Okay, say it has some property, bank account, say balance. Okay, now similarly you have string account, account name means account holder name. Okay, now in Java world there is something called as getters and setters. And why do we need this? Okay, say what are getters and setters, you will understand this. Okay, okay, now I'll create one more class. I'll say account. Okay, there is a class called access my account and it has a main method. Okay, and just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, all right, guys, thanks a lot, sorry for that. Now say I can create an object of the bank account class like this. Okay, and we have already seen that bank account B is equal to new of bank account. Okay, I can create an object of bank account class like this. Okay, now and I can access, say I want to print SYSOVT, I can access balance by B dot balance. Similarly, account name I can access B dot account name. So what will be printed on the console, guys? Anyone having any clue? If I run this, what will be printed on the console?
The second value would be low. Sorry, null.
Okay,
And first long.
yeah. No, so you are trying to say the default values will be
Yeah, yeah.
okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks a lot. That's what I wanted. So I don't expect you guys to remember what is the default value for everything, but yeah, you should know global variables like we have, maybe in the third class we have learned, it was all about global and local variables. Global variables, even though we are not initializing it to anything, by default, if it is number, okay, number like long, uh, double, short, or int, it will be always be assigned to 0 or 0.1, okay, something like that. Okay, so it's 0. And any object, since string is an object, because string is a class, it will always be assigned to null, because these are two are the global variables. That is what we have discussed. So that is the reason it will print its default value, that is null and null. Okay, I said long, L capital I said. Okay, if I say L lowercase, see, L capital means it becomes an object here, because if I go in here, see, there is a class called long class. Okay, I should say L lowercase, the primitive long. Okay, this is primitive long, guys. Okay, now if I run, it should give me 0 and null. Okay, if there is any doubt, ask me, guys. No problem at all. This is all fine. Okay, this is all perfectly fine. But imagine I don't want someone to access my variables like this. Okay, I want someone to access variable in a different way. Different way in the sense what, I will create, might be little tricky for you guys to understand. So if you don't understand, let me know. Okay, so till now b dot balance and all I used to print. Okay, now I'll add a method here, and what that method will do is method will return the balance of that particular object. Okay, balance, what is this property of that particular object? I will say public. What is the return type? Return type is int, public int get balance, and I will say return balance. Oh, sorry, not int, it's a long, right? Okay, so I will say public long balance. In the same way, what I will gonna do is I'll say public here, public string get account name, and what I'll do is return account name. Now how does it work? I will tell you guys. Okay, how does it work? If I say v dot account name get, sorry, v dot, I'm calling this method, okay, b dot say I will do b dot get balance. It will gonna give me long balance of object balance. Okay, balance also. In the same way, if I say string account name is equal to b dot get account name Okay, and I have the option to print these two. Balance, account name. Okay, now how does it work? Okay, you might not understand at this level. Okay, I'll just remove this one. I hope you know line number 7 and 8. Okay, now say imagine you have balances initialized to some variable 9,000 and the account name is say ABC. ABC. Account name is equal to ABC. Now when I run this particular class, what will gonna happen is it will create an object. Okay, I have given the breakpoint at line number 8. Debug as Java application. I'll say yes. See, line number 6 has got executed. Now if I say b dot get balance, it will get the balance associated with object b, that is 9,000. Okay, so if you see, when I run this method, it will call this particular method here. Okay, now if you want to see it has come here, the control has come here. Now if you see balance is 9,000. In the same way it works for when you say b.get account, it calls this method and it will return the name of the account, that is ABC. Account name is ABC. Now you can print both. Any one of you, any doubts in getters, guys? Any of these methods? Don't worry about getters as such, but any doubts in these methods?
So in this public long get balance method, we are just returning the value. We're not passing anything. So the value which you have assigned on in these variables, that will only get returned.
Correct. That's right.
So that means it will print 9,000 and ABC.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Okay. Now, see, I have already told you guys, this hard coding normally doesn't happen. Okay, hard coding normally doesn't happen. Okay, in 99% of the time, you will not see someone hard coding. So I am not initializing it to anything. So by default, this balance will be initialized to 0 since it's a long type, and account name will be initialized to null. So now if we run as Java application, it will be 0 and null. Okay, but say I'm doing here, instead of b, I'll say b dot account name is equal to ABC. I'm doing it here now. Okay, so the basics you are understood, right? If at all there is any doubt, you ask me, guys. B dot balance, I will say 9,000, okay, or 90,000. Now if you run what you are creating, say I'll go step by step. Debug as Java application. Now line number 6 has not been executed, so as soon as I execute line number 6, you will see object B and it has account name is null, balance at 0. Now if I execute this b dot account name equals to ABC, it will change account name from null to ABC. See, it changed to ABC. Now if I say b dot balance equals to 9,000, balance will be changed from 0 to 9,000. See, it got changed from 0 to 9,000. Now I'm just getting it, guys. Okay, I'm just getting it. Got the balance, got the account name. Now I'm printing it. Any doubts in this one? Any one of you? No? Okay. Similarly, if I do something like this, say this is instead of B, I'll say B1, 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 1. Okay. Instead of that, I will say one more thing. This is say B2, 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 B2. Okay. I'll say balance 2, account name 2. Okay. Some other variable. Okay. And here I'll say, okay, and say 911. Okay. Jan 911. So here you have to understand like this. Okay, it will say there will be a misconception. Account balance will always give you the same thing for all the objects. Okay, but it doesn't work like that, guys. Okay, now when you say b2 dot balance, it will give you account balance associated with b2 object. If you say b1 dot get balance, it will give you the balance associated with the b1 object. Say this is user 1, b1 is user 1, b2 is user 2. Okay, so debug as Java application, if I say 6, now b1 is there, null and 0. I'll say ABC 9,000. Now get balance. Now balance variable, see, balance variable has 9,000. Account name has ABC. Okay, so I'm printing account name, balance and account name. It will give the account name and the balance associated with the b1 object, because I said b1 dot get balance here, and I'm storing it here. Also I'm saying b1 dot account name and I'm storing it, guys. Okay, now if you say F6, 90,000 it is printing, and the account name. Now if you see here, b2 object has not yet been created. Okay, b2 object has not yet been created. If I execute line number 15, see, b2 object will be created. See, b2 object, again it has null and 0. Okay, if I say b2 dot account name equals to Jai, it got changed into Jai. b2 dot balance equals to 911 here. Okay, and you should know this here. Just a minute. Account name and the balance for b1 is different. Account name and the balance for b2 object is different. Okay, this is what you need to know. Now if I say b2 dot get balance, it will get me the balance associated with b2 object. And what is the balance? 911 is the balance. Okay, so see, balance equals to 911, balance 2. I have given a new variable here, so it is saying balance 2 equals to 911. In the same way, it will get the name equals to Jai. Account name equals to Jai. I'm printing it. So down at the bottom left hand corner, you can see 911 and Jai. Okay, see 9. Oh, I'm saying balance itself. No, I wanted to say balance 2 here. Sorry guys. It's not balance 2. I wanted to print balance 2 and account name 2. Okay. So if I run this directly, I'll run this time. Run as Java application. Yes. See 9. First it printed this one and then 9000 and Jai at the bottom left hand side. If any doubt, any one of you, please ask me in this.
When you were debugging this program,
Mhm.
you said the value of the first object would be null and 0.
Value
So
of the
we're
first
not
object.
passing. I
I mean
mean,
a
as soon
property
as the
value.
B1 object,
Property
no,
value
no,
you're
no,
saying?
no. As soon as the sixth line,
Okay, let me just do that.
yeah.
Debug. Okay, sixth line. Now I'm executing the sixth line. Okay, sixth line is executed. So values is null and 0. Yeah, go ahead.
So why it is null and 0? You're passing the argument, no?
What are where we are passing the argument?
So as soon as we create any object, so every time the value will initialize with the default value.
Correct.
The
That's correct.
variable will assign.
Correct. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it should be, I mean, we are anyways initializing these values with the ABC and 9000.
Okay.
So it should not be, that was the confusion I had.
Okay. Okay. No. Initially, whenever you create an object, it will just check. Okay, how many? What is this? Variables are there. Okay. Say there are 2 variables, so it will create an object at any available memory location. Say this is okay. Here it will return 0 for balance, and for account name it will just write null initially when you create the object, and after that it's up to you whether you want to change it or not. Okay, that is the thing.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Any other doubt, guys? Any one of you? Understand the objects. Seriously, I'm saying if you understand the objects, you will not need me even if at all you are developing some framework in your company tomorrow. Okay, and objects. Okay, objects are so important. Okay, and that is when your actual Java starts. And moreover, the second thing I want you to do is the debugging. Okay, if you do debugging, you can exactly see how it is going, what is happening, everything you can see, guys, clearly. Okay, that is
Vishal, one more thing.
yeah.
I'm not getting this package which you are declaring. What is this? I mean, com dot, merg dot, all this. How do you
Okay,
declare this?
see
Is there any format?
yeah, see normally how they do it any service based industry. For example, HCL is developing one application for city. They will say every of their packages will start with com dot city. Okay, then the application name. Okay, say application name is say ABC application. In that ABC application, dot, again there will be dot. I'll write it here. Dot, say you are working on reminder module or email module, you can say email. That's it. So all the classes related to reminder sending functionality or the email sending functionality will be put in this package called com.city.abc.email. Okay, I have just given some random thing as per what I'm teaching currently. Okay, that's it. But this is
As many as dots we can put and uh, put these names like you saying say application name and then
Mhm.
I'm still not clear.
Okay, so what is the doubt?
The doubt is, if I am writing any program,
Mhm.
how will I decide what I need to write for package?
Okay, see, this is it, they follow, this is the industry practice they follow. The com is always they will write, okay, and city, okay,
Hmm.
that's the domain of your the client, okay, or for whomever you're trying to create the what is this application. This com.city will be there depending on whether you are developing it on Citibank. Okay, if at all you are developing something for say Standard Chartered, you might say com.standard dot then dot abc. Abc is the application name, what application you are trying to develop. Okay, and then dot, you will say which module you are writing the code for. Say this particular code what you are writing, it's for email module, you will say dot email. That is it. There
Okay,
is nothing
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And we have already discussed what happens when we say com.city.abc.email. Okay, I hope you remember that, right? In the first class, or not first class, second class we had discussed.
Package class, yeah.
Yeah, so what happens when I say com dot vishal, okay, dot city. Okay, if I say something like that, in your source folder a folder called com will be created. Inside the com folder vishal will be created, one more folder. Inside the vishal folder you will have city. That is what we have discussed. It is something like this.
Yes.
Okay, so show view navigator, sorry, source com mock. Mine is, what is that, packed, correct? Yeah, packed. Inside that packed you will have getters and setter, and inside that these classes are there, whatever we have written. Okay, so that is how it is. So name actually not so much important, especially for Selenium guys, but it is good to have for development. Okay, that is the thing, but the package name doesn't really matters, guys. Okay, so don't spend much time in the package naming convention, but instead I'll say try to understand these things, which will be really helpful for you. Even if you say just the getters, package name is just the getters, uh, no one can say you this is the wrong package name. It's just that they are following this in the industry. Okay, now if you see just a minute. Say if at all this is the Selenium standalone jar, they have given some packages com.google, if it is related to Google Chrome. Okay, say ThoughtWorks is the company who has developed the Selenium WebDriver, so all the core component will have package name as com.thoughtworks.selenium.webdriver. It's up to them. Okay, so that is the thing. So anything you can give, that is how they follow it.
And there are some predefined package also, like you have java.lang util. So when do we use them?
Predefined package, that will come up later on. Okay, predefined package, we are already using it. What do we are not, we will not be using a package as such. Why do you want a package as such? Okay, we will be using the methods and classes of that package. For example, when you say string, actually string is a class, correct? String is a class, it's right here, that we have already discussed, and it is in, if you go here, it is in java.lang package. We are indirectly using this java.lang package. Okay, and if I say here something like this, say here somewhere, if I say sysout account name dot get length, okay, or account date called name dot length. I'm calling this length method, okay, which is there in this string class. See, this string class, this method is there. I open the string class, and this string class is there in, if you see, string class is there in java.lang package. Okay, so it's, there is nothing like we will be using a package or something. Okay, we are indirectly using the package. Any other doubt, guys? No? Okay. But don't forget the only one request, guys, which we have already covered. Don't forget that. Okay, we can wait. If at all you are telling me no, it's fast. Let's cover up whatever we have discussed. We need some time. That is also fine with me. Okay, but don't forget whatever which is already covered, guys. Okay, that's the only thing. Any other doubt? Any one of you? No? Okay. Now say, why do I need to do this methods, guys? Why do I know do this methods? Get balance and all. When I can do, if I want to get balance, why will I say b1 dot get balance? I will say b1 dot balance. Correct? I mean, this is much more this one, right? Why should I do b1 dot get balance? In what scenario you need to create some methods which will give, which will get you the values of the properties. Any clue, guys? Any, we have not discussed this, but any idea you are getting, depending on, some of you might have already learned Java in college days or something. And this is called a getter. By the way, this is called the getter for balance property, and this one is called the getter for, it's just the method, guys. Okay, that is just, it is, they are using the term called as getters for these kinds of things. It will get you the balance, it will get you the account name of that particular object. Okay, they are calling it as getters, but it's no different concept. It is just a method, guys. Okay, that is what I'm trying to tell you. Why do we need to create getters and setters? Okay, that is the thing. Now, oh my god, see, the reason why we need to create getters and setters is, in this case there is absolutely no use of getters and setters. Okay, here I'm gonna introduce one more concept in Java called as private keyword. Private keyword. Okay, before I can teach you about the private keyword, I wanted to ask you guys one question. Okay, I'll just remove all these things. Say I have here string sports is equal to cricket. Can someone tell me how will I print cricket, this sports? How will I access this sport property somewhere here? I want to access this sports property, a property called sports, somewhere over here, guys.
We'll call the method.
No, if I call the method, it will give me the account name, correct? It will give the account name. If I say here SYS or else if I say B1 dot get account name, and if I say store it somewhere, string name, it will just give me name. If I say, it will gonna print me the account name that is null, because I have not initialized account name to anything. But my question is, how will I access this particular thing which we have already discussed?
Through, but this is not starting.
Yeah. Okay, now forget about this second class. If I want to print this thing sports variable somewhere over here on line number 9, how will I access it? I want to print this sports property here in line number 9 somewhere over here. How will I access it, guys? Forget, let's not discuss in one more class or something. This is the same class. A class has two properties. These are the two properties of the class. Sorry, four properties. Balance property, account name property, get balance property, and get account name. These are the four properties of the class. These two and these two methods. These are the four properties of the class. And there is, and can any one of you tell me whether this sports is a local variable or a global variable?
It's local.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Now I want to print this here, line number 9. Is it possible, first of all? Can I access this local variable on line number 9?
No.
No. So I cannot do something like this. If I say SYS OUT sports, okay, it will gonna give you an error saying that I don't know what you're talking about, because sports is a local variable. It can be accessed only in this method. You cannot access it outside that method, anywhere outside this method. Okay, but if it is a global, you can type it, guys. Global, you can definitely print it like this, absolutely no problem. See, balance I can print, account name I can print, account name I can print here also, anywhere, here also, anywhere, because these are the global variables. So when you cannot access a method, this variable outside this method, how do you expect me to access it outside the class? It cannot be accessed. Okay, that is the only thing, guys. So I was trying to not confuse you as such, but I was trying to check whether you guys remember whatever we had discussed. Okay, so this sports is a local variable and it will be accessed only inside the method. Okay, that is the thing. Any other doubt, guys? In the previous classes also, you guys can ask me. No?
Actually, Vishal, I was debugging. I was debugging so in variable window I was not getting the values.
What values?
I don't know when I'm debugging the program. So it is just running the program. It is not debugging it.
Okay, have
And
you
no
put a
variable is showing there.
no? Have you put a debug point?
Yes, on the line that is on the left.
Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Okay, can I make you a presenter quickly?
Yeah, sure. No, I cannot present it. Actually, I'm taking it from my mobile.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
But
Okay,
yes, on the line, I clicked on the left line, that is a blue line, and
right, right.
then I clicked right click, and then debug Java application.
Can you read out the line on which you have put the debug point?
So on this, suppose I need to debug on bank account B1. That is the line number 6
Okay, line number
on
6.
access my account.
Okay, what is the line number 7? This the same one? Get account name. What is the line
No,
number 7?
actually, my program was different. So if I'm talking about the program that you have opened. So on access my account.java, I
Okay.
clicked on, suppose I clicked on this blue line
Mm-hmm.
on sixth line,
Okay.
and right click on it and debug it as Java application.
Oh, I'm not sure. Sometimes you will have problem with the what you call this Eclipse as well. Okay, you cannot rule out the problem with the Eclipse. Okay, so you can try to close the Eclipse, reopen the Eclipse, or else do you have anything called as breakpoints here, and any window called breakpoints down at the bottom or somewhere? If you don't have it,
No, I think no.
click on Window, Show View, and click on breakpoints. Window, Show View, click on breakpoints. And once you get that window, let me know.
Uh, Vishal, currently I cannot. I'm not having system, so I cannot check it.
Oh, you don't have the system right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
Actually,
no problem. You let me
I'm
know,
in
or
the
else
way to my
you
office.
can just send me a pic in in your office. Okay, I thought you're doing it right now. Okay, no, sometimes it will be problem with this one as well. Okay, so what you can do is show view, go to show view breakpoints. Okay, if you see the breakpoints, okay, try to remove all the breakpoints. Okay, you can just click right here. Okay, I'm sorry, I thought that uh, you're doing it now, and really was not happy because when I'm teaching you're trying to so I was thinking about that because you're trying to do something which wherein you might miss on what I'm teaching. Okay, that was the thing, that was the concern. So you will have this double X here. Okay, you can just click on that double X right here and remove all the breakpoints and again put it back. Okay, that should work. If it doesn't work, send me the pic. I should be able to help you with it. Okay, that's the thing, guys.
Sure, sure.
So and yeah, any other doubt, guys? Any one of you here? Feel free. I mean, idea is not to finish up the class as soon as possible. Okay, even though you guys want me to do that, but it will not be like that, guys. Okay, I told you, like it will be definitely be dragged if at all I'm not getting the answers for the previous class. Okay, so I understand that both of you are working, so take your time. Don't be in a hurry that you want to end this class. Okay, I will not be losing anything, but you guys will be losing. That is the only reason. Okay, understand everything, and uh, accordingly we will go. Okay, that is what I'm trying to tell. So this is how it works. Okay, if it is a local variable, you cannot access it outside that particular method. Okay, that is the thing. Now we were discussing why do we need these methods. Instead you can say here, instead if you want to get the name property, you say b1 dot name. It's as good, right? b1 dot account name. If you want to get the account name, why you need to say b1 dot get account name? The reason is, okay, this is what is the reason, guys. Okay, always your variables, okay, properties always will not be default properties. Okay, now what is the default property, guys? Okay, there are four kinds of access modifier I can give to this particular variables. One, I can say private. Okay, private long equals to balance. Otherwise I can say, okay, so we have seen private now. Otherwise we can see public, say public. Third one is protected. So I can give protected. And if you don't give anything, then it is by something called as default. Okay, when you don't give. Okay, and these things are called as access modifiers, guys. If someone asks you what is the access modifier for this balance property, access modifier is default. When you don't write any of these three, private, public, protected, your access modifier is default. That is what you need to understand. Okay, now consider, it is like right now, if say it's a banking application. Okay, this is an banking application. Right now what is happening here is anybody can create the object of this particular bank account class, and they can access balance and the account number, because they can simply say b dot, say they can say b1 dot account number, account name, or else b1 dot balance. b1 dot, just a minute, b1 dot, okay, so since this one is b1 dot balance, okay, or else b1 dot account. Anybody can do this directly, but you don't want anyone to do it like directly like this. You want someone to access, if at all they want get the balance, you want them to go through this particular method alone. You want someone to access only using the method. They should not be able to say this is fine. Okay, this is fine, what is highlighted, but what is not fine is get account name, sorry, account name. Okay, this is fine, but what is not fine is this is not fine. You want to stop this. Okay, someone should not be able to access your account like this. Now if you want to stop it, all you need to do is you should give a specifier in your class for this particular account name, you should give a specifier, one among these three. And preferably, if you want to make sure no one access this particular account name outside this class, okay, I am repeating it, someone should not be able to access this account name outside this class, then I should be giving the account name as private. See, as soon as I given it as private, it is giving you an error here. If I remove the private, the error will go, guys. See, error gone. But if I put the private back, the error comes up. If at all any property of a class is marked as private, it cannot be accessed outside this class. You can definitely access it anywhere inside the class. There is absolutely no problem. See, no problem here. Account name, and you can access it here also. Anything. Or you want to say account name equals to Vishal, it's fine. I mean, you can access it, guys. Okay. But if you see it as a private, you cannot access it outside the class. Now the only option, if you really want to access that thing, is you have to call this method called as getBalance. You cannot do this. Instead, you can call this method called as getBalance. Yeah, sorry, getAccount name. GetAccount name. Understood? Why do we go for these getters? Same way I can give a private thing to this balance as well. Any doubts, you can ask me. Now you guys might be asking, say, let's remove this balance. Okay, let's forget about the balance. Okay, let's not get confused. Say there is only one property and you want to make sure that property can be accessed only by calling this method. That's when you will make it as private. You don't want someone to do b1 dot account name. But what is the use, guys? See, someone can access it anyway by calling a method, correct? Someone can call this method and definitely can access it. So what is how it will make difference someone access it through this method, or see, your thing was someone should not be able to access it, correct? Someone should not be able to access it outside the class, so you made it as a private. But now you are giving it, okay, you are giving this method, someone can access it by calling this method, not directly but indirectly. This method will return the value of that. So there is no point in having this getters. Are you guys able to understand what I'm trying to say, or am I confusing you guys? Feel free, guys.
I'm not clear, Vishal.
Okay, you are not clear.
Mm.
Now what is that you are not clear? Can you tell me how far? Okay, now I'll ask you something. Are you able to understand what happens when you say a property, when I give private thing to a variable, what happens? Are you able to understand? You understand?
If you declare anything within, I mean, private, so that can be just accessible within that class only. Nobody can access outside that class.
Correct. I cannot say b1 dot this one because that's private, correct? I mean b1 dot account name I cannot say because that is a private variable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we have discussed.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now what I'm trying to say, I have made it as a private, okay, and my goal was, see, my goal was behind making it as a private, my goal was someone should not be able to get the value of it, correct, in some other class.
Yeah. Correct.
But since I am giving this method get account name, someone can definitely access its value by using this method, correct?
Correct.
So
Because
there
it's
is,
public.
yeah, so there is absolutely no point in making it as a private. So someone can get it using this method. So why do you make it as a private? Okay, someone can anyway get it using this get account name. Correct. That is what I'm trying to say. Now,
But when account name is private, so will it return any value?
which one?
In public string get account name,
Uh-huh.
you have returned the value of account name.
Uh-huh.
So if account name object is a private object, so will it return any value?
Yes, it will return a value. It will return the value. See, Nishant is there. It is returning me Nishant. If you don't have it, it will definitely give you null. Okay, same like how it used to behave. It will give you null. But if it is initialized to some value, say Nishant, it will definitely gonna give you that particular value. Okay,
And
so
if you
Because
declare
method
this method,
yeah, go ahead.
uh,
Yeah.
I was telling if this get account name method is declared as a private method, in that case, also you won't be able to access using an object.
Yes, that is right. That is absolutely right. So yes, if at all you make it as a private, then you cannot say b1 dot get account
Yeah.
name. Okay, that is true. Okay, but I want to keep this one as a public itself. Okay, and this one as a private. Okay, and what I'm trying to ask you here is, what is the scenarios wherein I might need to do these kinds of setups? Okay, this is the first question from me to you guys. And yes, Priyank, you were telling something. Go ahead, please.
no, I'm
No.
ready.
Okay, perfect. Shika, any other doubt here? But what you said is
No, no.
100% correct. If at all you make it as a private like this, then there is no way you cannot access it here as well. It will gonna give you an error. But
Okay.
okay, that is true. But what I am trying to say is, in what scenarios you might need these kinds of setup? And the answer is very, very simple, guys. Okay, you want to say, why do you go for getters and setters? Is, say here you will say string username comma string password. Okay, string password. Now if I want to call this get, say I have modified this particular method now. Okay, and I am pass, now this method, if at all you are calling, you have to give one username and the password. Okay, so if I have to say username is user1 comma password is pass123. Okay, pass123. Now you are, if at all someone wants to get the account name, they should enter a username and enter a password, and inside this method you can write some logic. Inside this method you can write some logic saying, if username dot equals, say, Vishal. Okay, only if it is Vishal, and password dot equals to, say, Vishal 123, only in that case, return the account name. Else, return, say something like you are not authorized. Now what will gonna happen is, if at all, say this will not be hard coded like this, it will be like whenever someone, like in a real-time application, okay, and it's not so useful for you guys, okay, but if in real-time application someone gives a username and password, they will check it in the database. Is it the correct username? Okay. Is it the correct password representing that username? Yes. If both are fine, instead of doing this, if this one, okay, hard coding, I directly hard coding it to Vishal and Vishal 123, okay, but in real time scenario, they will check it with the database whether the username is correct, whether that for username is this the correct password. If both are fine, that's when they will go ahead and give the account name, okay. But here for the simplicity, I have just hard coded it, guys, okay. Now, if someone is giving you username as user123 and pass123, it will give you the error saying that you are not authorized. But if at all someone gives the correct username, that is Vishal and Vishal123, and if I run this, it will gonna give me the account name. So why do we need getters and setters is in these kinds of scenarios, guys? You directly don't want to expose this particular variable. Instead, you want to expose it based on some kind of authentication, and you are doing this authentication right here, guys. So normally they will, if someone comes for the interview, they will say private, okay, private. Then how to do a getters and setters? This is the getter, okay. Setters I have not told you guys, okay. This is the getter. Then they will write the getters like this, okay, without anything, okay. Now if I ask them what is the use, okay, most of them doesn't know, guys, okay. That is the, I don't want that to happen to you guys, okay. Understand. And you might see this kind of code in the interview most of the time, because this is really not, you need not use this private and all in case of Selenium as such, because there will not be any security thing that you are trying to restrict someone and all, okay. But they do ask in the interview, and I want you to understand the real use of this, making something as a private, real use of making something as a private. And ask me, guys, any doubt, feel free to ask me. This is the real use of making something as a private. You don't want to access someone directly. You want someone wants to access it, better they give a username or the password or some kind of authentication or some OTP or something. Then you will check whether the OTP or username or password, is that the correct one. If it is the correct one, then only you will give the desired thing. Otherwise you will give some message like this, or else you will just say return null. I think that is also possible. Return null. Okay. Now if you say instead of Vishal, if you say Vishal 123, it will return you null. See, that's the thing. The idea behind making something as a private is you don't want to expose it directly to other classes. Instead, you want to expose it depending on some condition. And now the condition is that someone has to give the correct username and the correct password. This is the condition, and that condition might be anything, okay. But this is, in 80% of the time, these things will be the condition. You give some kind of authentication. That is the thing. Any doubt, guys? If no doubt, we are done for today, but you can definitely ask me questions.
Vishal, you are saying this getter and setter is a method.
Yes.
So you have declared method here as a string get account name. So it's just a simple method name which you can give any name.
Yeah, you can give any name. Yes, this is one more thing. You can give any name, but industry practices they will write this get, then followed
Hmm.
by they will make a as capital like this. Say there is a variable called my name. Okay, my name. If we want to get write a getter for it, you will say get my name. This is the industry practice, but you can give any name here.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any doubt? No doubt, guys. Okay. Feel free, guys. Even if at all you're doing something and you get stuck, okay, ping me. I should be able to help you. And that's it for today. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Shika. Thanks, Priya. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharma.
Thanks, Vishal.
Yeah.
Bye.